Good evening, hockey fans. I'm Walker Sakon, thrilled to welcome you aboard on time for this one, another Pac-8 matchup between your Western Washington University Vikings and the University of Washington Huskies here from Bellingham Sportsplex. 10 minutes up on the game clock now as skaters just took the ice to warm up. Starting lineups this evening for Vikings coach Larry McDonald. It'll be Jake Holden in goal, the freshman with 37 saves in last night's 2-1 victory for the Vikings. Defensively, it'll be number 3 Aiden Knabb and number 23 Kyle Hoffman out there for Western. Starting forwards, number 19 Andrew Hoytink, center number 2 Keats Montrose, and number 14 Evan Cloutier on the other wing. Again, the Vikings are coached by Larry McDonald. For the visiting Washington Huskies in goal, Bennett Jarvis, an excellent performance in its own right for the Washington keeper yesterday. Defensively, it'll be number 88 Consta Jaski, number 5 Ryan Jerriman for the Huskies. At left wing, number 61 Stephen Chow, the center 15 Christian Cinderella, and the right wing number 13 Connor Nels. Now 8 minutes 45 seconds up on the clock ahead of the start of this one. Again, folks, welcome aboard this evening. Pac-8 matchup here between the Western Washington Vikings, 4-5 thus far in Pac-8 play, and the Washington Huskies, 3-7 after dropping last night's contest to Western 2-1. All three of the goals in last night's game scored in the third period as the action in that one ramped up through the first, second, and into the final frame. Tonight's matchup here from Bellingham Sportsplex concludes the Vikings' home schedule for 2018. They'll be back at home to finish out their regular season the first weekend in February. That's February 1st and 2nd. Next weekend, they'll be off for Thanksgiving, and the following weekend, the Vikings will be on the road at the University of Oregon. The next game for the team is scheduled for November 30th at UO at 7 o'clock. Again, thanks for joining us, folks. 7 minutes 40 seconds to go here in the warm-up period. I'll be right back with you ahead of the first. Quick correction for you, folks. I had a bit of a trouble reading the handwriting of Huskies coach Matt Cleaton. Starting left wing will be number 61 Stephen Chu rather than Chow, starting for the Huskies. Buzzer just sounding on that warm-up period here from Bellingham Sportsplex. Again, starters both ways. In goal for Western, it'll be number 31, Jake Holden. Defensively, Mark McDonald and Andrew Gamble out there for the Vikings to start. Forward group for Western, Defensively tonight, it'll be Hoffman and Nab. Kyle Hoffman and Aiden Nab for the Vikings. Forward group, Andrew Hoytink, Keats Montrose, and Evan Cloutier. For the Huskies, in goal, number 1, Bennett Jarvis, 40 saves of his own last night. Defensively, Consta Jaski and Ryan Jerriman. Left wing, Stephen Chu for the Huskies. Christian Cinderella centers that first line for Washington tonight, and number 13, Connor Nels, will be the right wing. Again, entering tonight, Washington 3-7, Western Washington 4-5 in Pac-8 play. The Vikings looking to improve to 500 on the season. In conference play, that is.
Number 88, Consta Jaski.
Last night's goal scorers for the Vikings, Andrew Gamble with a nice play taking a puck coast to coast and beating Jarvis. Later on in the third period, Aiden Nab's wrist shot from the blue line was redirected by Lucas Fanton. Fanton's second goal of the season for the Vikings. Huskies scored late in that one to make things interesting. Of course, the 2-1 final, with Western scoring both of their goals in the third period, and all 3 goals in the game coming in the third period. Holden for the Vikings last night had one particular spectacular glove save late in the third period to hold on to that 1-goal lead for Western after Washington climbed their way back into it, making it 2-1. As Holden hears it now from Western's fans here. And now the national anthem. With that anthem taken care of for the evening, we'll get ready to go in this one. These two teams, of course, each other's closest opponents, geographically speaking, here in the Division II of the ACHA. Both these teams new to the Pac-8 conference of the ACHA. Western, of course, this evening in blue and white, the Huskies in gold and purple. Western skates right to left across your YouTube screen in the first period. It'll be Montrose and Cinderella in there for the Vikings and Huskies respectively. And puck is dropped. Vikings control off the face-off as we are underway. D-to-D pass there for Nab. Nab in behind Holden. Passes one off the boards, too long for Montrose. Wrapped back in by the Huskies. Nab takes it once more behind Holden. Pass to the same area. Hoytink there this time. Bouncing puck, control to blue line. Shot in on Holden. Kicked away there. Now Hoffman in the corner for the Vikings. Plays it around to the near boards where Nab sends it back the other way. Hoffman eventually controls it. Now Hoffman for Western. Up the near boards, Hoffman dumps in on Jarvis, and the Vikings will change. Jerem in there for the Huskies, and it ends up with Jaski, his partner, who flips that one in on Holden. Holden plays a pass up around the near boards all the way out to center ice, now back with the Huskies. Jaski redirects that one, taken by Gamble. Gamble's pass to McNanny, played into the UW zone. And looks like an icing called. McNanny did get a stick on that, but referee may have missed it. .18:41 now remaining in the first period. Shot in on Holden, but mostly quiet so far as it'll be Friedman in there for the Huskies, taking on Fanton, and Friedman wins it. Shot there, bouncing, redirected, and the Huskies score. Holden was there for that one, but the puck hit either a Western defender or a UW man, bounced up high in the air, and then appeared to roll in between Holden's legs. Goal scorer for the Huskies, number 21. That's Thomas Krivak, the goal scorer for the Huskies. Assists go to number 24, Ryan Featherman, number 3, Mason Friedman on the play, so Washington now leads 1-0 in this one. As the other way goes Friedman now. Friedman taken down by Stoneham, shot there, blocked. 18:02 remaining now in the period, as Hoffman plays that one to Stoneham along the far boards. Stoneham in on Washington now, but poked away. And the Huskies cleanly possessed, wrapped off the boards, back to Hoffman for Western. 17:40 now remaining in the period. As big hit there by Nab, and the puck winds up with Hoffman. Nab and Roberts go off for Western. Stoneham chases in behind Jarvis. Again, Western scoring the first 2 goals of last night's game between these two teams in the third period. Washington breaking this one open here just a few minutes into the first. McCracken now in behind Jarvis for the Vikings. McCracken still passes out to McDonald on the blue line. McDonald shot low. Nice save there by Jarvis. That one had a chance as winds up with McDonald now. Played back to his partner Gamble in the Western zone. Gamble D-to-D to McDonald. And up for Budnick. Budnick's knocked off the puck. Icing waved off, so UW sets up behind Jarvis. Now through the neutral ice and flipped in on Holden just over his head, but UW man there in the corner. Budnick in for the Vikings. Cam Budnick digging for it. Still they battle. Still in this near corner. It's Budnick in there for Western, joined by McDonald, as now Gamble finally comes away with it. Gamble's pass to McCracken, plays a nice pass to Montrose. Montrose will dump that one, icing waved off as Montrose is in there. Now clearance attempt for Washington, winds up with Budnick and eventually Hoffman. Hoffman now in on Jarvis. Hoffman shooting off of a skate into the glass, but UW takes it in the corner. Pass back to Hoytink for Western, as that one nearly went right through the open gate onto the Vikings bench. Pass around to the far boards now for Washington. Winds up with Nab for the Vikings. Stoneham there as well. Now Hoytink. Pass back to Hoffman. Hoffman, long pass to McCallum. Turned over. And turned over once more by the Huskies. Nab clearance attempt was blocked, and Huskies score. Puck loose there next to Holden's cage for just a moment, and Washington taking advantage, depositing that one. Looks like Holden may not have been sure. That puck was as close to his cage as it was. Goal scorer for Washington at 15:11 remaining in this first period. Number 15, Christian Cinderella. Assists go to 13, Connor Nels, and 5, Ryan Jerriman for the Huskies, as Roberts takes it the other way for Western. Robertson behind Jarvis now. Western trailing 2-0 in this one. Winds up on the blue line with Gamble. Gamble to McCallum, rather. Now McDonald back for it. Gamble to McCallum. McCallum now passes up to Roberts. Roberts with a man to beat. Roberts fighting through traffic. Lost the puck, now out in front. Stoneham couldn't get a shot off. Pass back in front by Stoneham, but cleared by Washington. McDonald will flip that one along the boards. It trickles past the red line and eventually in on Holden. Played there by Jerriman. Now Jack McCallum the other way for Western. McCallum makes a move, passes to Gamble. Gamble through the neutral ice. Gamble tried to flip that one in on Jarvis and go get it, but winds up with it in the corner to wrap it around to McNanny. McNanny back around behind Jarvis. McCracken there for Western. Fanton joining McNanny and McCracken as the forwards, and now it's Hoffman and Fanton there defensively as puck flipped back into the Huskies zone, and too many men on the ice call coming as Washington was in the process of a line change there when the puck was flipped in the direction of their bench. So it'll be penalty coming with 13:45 remaining in the first period. Penalty will be served by number 24, Ryan Featherman. So again, 2 minutes for too many men, assessed to Featherman for the Huskies, and Western will go to the power play with 13:45 remaining in the period. Power play group's going to be Stoneham, Roberts, and Hoffman, the forwards. Gamble and McDonald defensively out there for Western. Hoffman, of course, starting D-man this evening for the Vikings, but fills in as a forward on the power play, so a lot of size out there between him and Stoneham for the Vikings. As now Washington heads the other way. Gamble racing back, unable to recover, and in on Holden they go, kicked away. Hoffman, pass to Stoneham. Now the Vikings in on Jarvis. Stoneham loses it to the corner, though. Pass back to Hoffman. Hoffman out in front now. It winds up with Gamble. Gamble to McDonald. McDonald spinning. McDonald across the face-off circle and poked away. Now the other way goes Washington. Nice play by Gamble there to take that one, but they go to the corner battling for it as seconds tick off of this Western power play. Now a minute remaining on the power play, the penalty to Featherman. It'll be Now back to Hoffman, still behind Holden as Western. 45 seconds remaining now on the power play. Gamble back to Hoffman, but errant pass gathered once more by Hoffman. 35 seconds now remaining on the penalty as good forecheck, a man down there by Washington, but Gamble now the other way, loses that one, and Jarvis will glove it for a stoppage. 12 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first period, and 26 seconds remaining on the Western power play. Washington penalty to Ryan Featherman. Be McCallum in there on the face-off for Western. Joined by McCracken and Fanton, the forwards, Budnick and Nab backing them up on defense. This one winds up with Budnick, D to D. Nab now, Nab shooting. Not sure if that one found its way on Jarvis, but eventually winds up with Budnick. Back to Nab now. Nab will shoot again. That one across the front of the goal. 5 seconds now remaining on the Featherman penalty as Jarvis gloves this one for another stoppage. 11:50 to play in the period. 5 seconds remaining on the power play for Western here, so one final face-off here in the offensive zone and maybe a quick shooting chance with the man advantage. It's Budnick and Nab still defensively. Fanton, McCallum, and McCracken the forwards. McCallum in there on the draw. It's one to the corner by Washington, wrapped around all the way to Nab as Featherman heads back out for Washington. Pass out in front there by Fanton was broken up and eventually winds up in the glove of Jarvis. 11 minutes, 38 seconds now remaining in the period. 2-goal lead for Washington in this one. Pair of quick goals for the Huskies after scoring their first goal well into the third period last night, as that's McCallum on the draw for Western and Washington controls. Winds up with Hoffman. Hoffman shot blocked. Now the other way, Washington, but loose puck gathered by Hoffman. Hoffman behind Holden. Poked away from Hoffman there by Nels. Nels shot saved. Holden bouncing in front once more. And Roberts heads the other way for Western. Pass too far for Alex Stoneham, and now Washington possesses. Chew to Cinderella, and pass out in front there. No one home. A lot of traffic right now for Washington out in front of Jake Holden, as Roberts takes it across the red line, losing it in the process. Nab now will flip it in. Cloutier on for the Vikings. Nab takes it once more. Nab once more will flip it in. Now it's Roberts and Nab off. Hoytink and Gamble on for Western. Washington controlling in the far corner. Pass taken now by Garrod for Nels. Shot by Nels, blocked and rolls across the front of the cage. Hoytink the other way for Western. Clears it across center ice. Now that one flipped in for UW as Hoytink takes a pair of Huskies down right around the blue line. Now Fanton. Fanton plays it towards the corner. He'll pick it back up. Into the corner he goes, and that one bouncing high now right out in front of Jarvis, loose, and a whistle as that puck was never gloved by Jarvis, and not sure if he thought he had it in the glove, but definitely attempted to stop play there. Quick whistle from the referees, but Jarvis never got the glove on that one. Now 9:56 remaining in the period. That's Fanton, McCracken, and Budnick now the forwards. Budnick, another D-man naturally for Western, capable of filling in offensively. Crucial goal in the Oregon series last weekend in a similar situation after being bumped onto a forward line. Now pass out in front of Holden, their shot, and they score. So now with 9:43 remaining in the first, Western trails 3-0. Goal scorer for Washington, Trevor Garrod, number 95. Let's just go to 18, Johnny White, and number 3, Mason Friedman for the Huskies. So, again, Garrod scoring for Washington at 10 minutes, 17 seconds in the first period. The Huskies lead 3-0 just over 10 minutes into this one, and Larry McDonald will take a timeout for the Vikings. Second assist of the evening for Mason Friedman. So the total number of goals by both teams in last night's game already matched here just by Washington in the first period.
Assist 18 White and a 3.
And just like that, Western faces a 3-goal deficit.
Timeout Western.
As you see, Dawson Roberts there with Spencer Warren for Washington, former teammates from Homer, Alaska, the pair. Now playing here in the Evergreen State as Stoneham tips that one in on Jarvis for another stoppage. .9:37 remaining now in the period. It'll be McCallum, Robertson, Stoneham, the forwards for Western. Hoffman and Nab defensively. And McCallum wins that one to Hoffman, D to Nab. Nab will play it back in around Stoneham. Pass out front there. McCallum couldn't get a shot off, but still loose in front. Still loose in front, the puck now. Played by Western and eventually held by Aiden Nab. Shot by Nab there, wide of Jarvis. And finally, Jarvis able to get a glove on it. 9:17 now remaining in the first period. There'll be a change for the Huskies. That's Shamus Pipple out there for the faceoff. Pipple's joined by, as this one's poked out there by Gordon DeLapp, but DeLapp taken down by Kyle Hoffman cleanly. Hoffman lost it now, loose in the Western zone. Hoffman hustles back to pick it up and plays it up for Roberts. Hoffman, Roberts, the official, and a Husky tangled up there as Roberts comes away with it now, gaining the Washington zone. McCallum for Western, pass to Roberts. Roberts run into and loses it. Chasing is Roberts as that one's played off the boards, back to Holden for an icing. 8:37 remaining in the first period. 3-goal lead, 3-0 for the Huskies. McDonald and Gamble, the defenders now for Western Washington. It'll be Keats Montrose, Andrew Hoytink, and Evan Cloutier, the forward group. That's Pipple once more on the faceoff as Western wins it. Shot there by McDonald, but wide of Jarvis, and across the neutral ice now goes Washington, gaining the zone. Gamble back there defensively, and behind Holden they go. Jaski out in front now. Behind Jaski goes. Pass in front. One-timer there, and a save Holden. It'll be Pipple. Scratch that. Cinderella, Nels, and Chu, the forwards now for Oregon, as Fanton wins that for Western. Played out across the blue line by McDonald. Now Jaski takes it for Washington. Jaski's pass broken up by Fanton, who will shoot that one in on Jarvis. Harmlessly kicked away by Bennett Jarvis. Now Nels for Washington. He has Chu. Leaves it for Cinderella. Slap shot on the one-timer, saved Holden. Bouncing puck in behind. Gamble taking it only briefly as Nels pokes it away. Now Nels looking to pass. Poked away by Western. McCracken lost it to Nels, and Gamble pokes this one. Bouncing high. Pass by Cinderella. Blocked away. Now back in front And a shot there wide of Holden. Eventually wrapped around by McDonald back to the Washington blue line. Still Washington possessing as Cinderella plays it back to Chu. Now to the blue line for Washington and back around to the far corner. Now to the short boards on the near side, and puck eventually bouncing back across the Washington blue line. D to D they go, and then Chu takes it. Now Chu gaining the western zone. Pass across to Cinderella, and a post for Cinderella there. Very nearly a 4-goal lead for Washington with 6:45 remaining in the period. As now it's Hoffman. Hoffman with a shooting lane. Hoffman now in behind Jarvis for Western. Still skating is Hoffman. Hoffman pass across to Gamble. Gamble with room to shoot. Gamble does and save Jarvis. Now 6:25 remaining in the period. Tipped in by Stoneham there on Washington. And Friedman goes the other way. Now Hoffman takes that for Western. Hoffman played as up the near boards. Now in behind Holden. Pass out front. Puck bouncing there. Not making it to the front of Holden's crease though. That one played off the boards. Winds up with Stoneham. One-on-one now. Stoneham. One man to beat. Stoneham will shoot, and off a stick it goes up into the netting. So offensive zone face-off coming for Western. 5:45 rather remaining in the period. 3-goal lead for Washington, and Christian Cinderella drawing the post just a moment ago here in this one. Now it's Montrose out there for the face-off, winning it for Western. McDonald shooting, redirected just high of Jarvis there by Montrose. About a foot off of a goal there for Keats. Montrose is back the other way. A shot from Washington was high of Holden. Now pass it in from the blue line. McDonald plays it to Hoytink for Western. Hoytink unable to control it, so played by Washington back around. Holden leaves it for McDonald now. McDonald to Gamble and back to McDonald. Now puck all the way down the length of the ice, and icing whistle here. 5:03 remaining in the first period. Be still Montrose in there for Western on the face-off. Hoytink and Cloutier the forwards. Still Gamble and McDonald on defense for Western, as that one's flipped out just across the red line by Mark McDonald, and Western gets half a forward change. Now flipped by McDonald off the boards, taken by Washington. Shot there, puck loose in front of Holden, poked away by Western, and now Cam Budnick goes the other way. The long reach of Budnick, unable to get to it though, as Gamble's run into now. Now Washington control. Fanton and Budnick in there forechecking for Western. But Spencer Warren flips that one in just wide of Holden, eventually controlled by McDonald. McDonald waits. McDonald, hard pass there to Fanton. Fanton plays it in on Jarvis, chases, and goes down hard into the boards, but Fanton pops right back up. Now this one lifted into the western zone by Washington. Nab in and around Holden. Pass too hard for Budnick, and it'll go back the other way. No icing there. And this one will go back down the other way. And finally we do have an icing called. 3:49 remaining now in the period. Three-goal lead for the Huskies of University of Washington in this one. McCallum in there on the draw for Western. Now Nab with the shot off the face-off wide of Jarvis. Roberts plays it up the short boards to Nab. Back in on Jarvis it goes. Kicked once more. Bennett Jarvis with 40 saves in the loss last night for Washington, as Hoffman back there now defensively blocking the shot as Hoffman for Western. And winds up with Nab in the far corner. Stoneham will flip this one out into the neutral ice for Roberts. Roberts plays it into the Washington zone. He'll chase it as the UW man lost his feet. Roberts run into again as a slap shot there by Hoffman was saved by Jarvis. Redirected by Stoneham, but still saved Jarvis. Now Gamble and Hoffman back there defensively for Western. Hoffman runs into the Washington skater and it winds up with Gamble. 2 minutes 50 seconds remaining now in the first period. And it's Washington back in for Holden now and a whistle. 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining, and looks like it's going to be a penalty against Hoytink. It's going to be 2-minute minor assessed to Andrew Hoytink for the Vikings. 2 minutes for cross-checking. So with 2:40 remaining in the period, Washington takes their first power play of the evening. Stoneham in there with Fanton, the forwards on the penalty kill, Gamble and McDonald backing them up. Stoneham in there for the face-off. As the Huskies control at the blue line off this one. Now into the slot, a shot there by Nels, easy stop for Holden. 9 seconds off the Hoytink penalty there. And a shot for Washington as Fanton takes a turn in the face-off circle now for Western. And that one goes to the corner. Eventually Washington control. Jaski plays it back into the corner there. Fanton into battle for Western. It goes to Gamble behind Holden. Gamble wraps it around down the length of the ice past Jarvis. Minute 33 seconds remaining on the Hoytink penalty. Now Nels for Washington. Pass across. He's got his man. Cinderella shoots, but wide of Holden. Jaski losing that one, so Washington will reset. Forward change for the Vikings as Washington tries to take advantage quickly in on goal, but it winds up behind Holden off the boards. Hoffman there. McCallum and Roberts now the forwards for Washington. As that one was in on Holden, saved Holden, and sprawling. Holden makes another save on the rebound. 45 seconds remain on the Hoytink penalty. Western without Ivor Jackson tonight, key forward for the team. It's Chu for Washington on the blue line. Now back in around behind Holden it goes. McDonald there for Western.
Do we have more people here than the soccer game?
And McDonald and Roberts digging at that one in behind Holden now for Western. Some jawing back and forth now. 15 seconds remaining on the Hoytink penalty, and Roberts is headed to the box. It's gonna be a roughing penalty assessed to Dawson Roberts for the Vikings, so now a 5-on-3 advantage for Washington as Roberts and Hoytink in the box for Western. That's McCallum winning the draw for Western there and wrapped around the glass by McDonald, but funny bounce, wasn't able to clear the length of the ice, so Washington goes back in on Holden. Poitink penalty ends just as we have a whistle. 40 seconds remain in the period. It's going to be disqualification now, as Mark McDonald is assessed with an unsportsmanlike conduct. So McDonald heads to the locker room, waiting to be told officially as tonight's referee explains the call to Vikings captain Alex Stoneham. McDonald, a big loss for the Vikings this evening if he is indeed disqualified from the contest. Defenseman who the team really relies on, Coach Larry McDonald's son, Mark. Western will be really in this one left with only two true defensemen, Cam Budnick and Kyle Hoffman. Aiden Knapp and Andrew Gamble filling in defensively tonight, as they both have been now for a good chunk of this season, both starting this season as forwards for the Vikings. .2 seconds remaining on the game clock here in the first period, and minute 45 seconds remaining on the penalty to Roberts for Western. So it'll be a game misconduct assessed to Mark McDonald.
It's been ongoing and significant, so I'm not surprised. If you look at Larry,
It's a
not surprised.
penalty to McDonald for an unsportsmanlike, and he heads to the locker room now. Things sorted out. Stoneham and Jerriman will head back to their benches and have a report for the coach. Penalty kill unit for Western is going to be McCallum, Hoffman, Gamble, and Fanton. It'll be McCallum in there on the draw. Johnny White for Washington, as White wins that one. It's Jaski on the blue line to Jerriman. Back to Jaski, D to D they go, as a shot there blocked high by Fanton into the far corner and slapped clear down the length of the ice by Gamble. Now 23 seconds remaining in the period and a minute 25 remaining on the penalty to Roberts, as that's Jerriman in behind for Washington. Now Cinderella. Through the neutral ice into the western zone goes Cinderella. Leaves it for Jaski. Across to Jerriman. Jerriman fakes a shot, loses the puck. And the buzzer sounds on the first period. So after 20 minutes in this one, your Western Washington University Vikings trail 3-0. UW will have a minute and 5 seconds remaining on the power play after 2-minute roughing penalty assessed to Dawson Roberts there towards the end of the first period. The Vikings also losing Mark McDonald for the duration, as game misconduct was assessed to McDonald there right around the final minute of the first period. Again, last night's contest finishing up 2-1 Western victory. Already the number of goals scored in the entire game equaled in 20 minutes in this one, all by the Huskies, as it's 3-0 Washington after one. I'll be right back with you around the 5-minute mark here in the first intermission with the shots on goal update through the first period. As always, I'd like to thank you for tuning into the Western Washington University Hockey Club YouTube broadcast of this Pac-8 contest between the Huskies and Vikings. 5 minutes to go in the first intermission here from Bellingham Sportsplex, folks. This Pac 8 conference matchup between the Western Washington University Vikings and the University of Washington Huskies. The Pac 8, of course, conference in the ACHA's Division II. 3-0 lead for Washington through one period here in this one. Huskies look to move to 4-8 in Pac 8 play, so 4-7 rather in Pac 8 play so far. Washington 4-5 as it stands, looking to climb back into this one and move to 500 on the season in conference play. Shots on goal fairly even last night, again, as Bennett Jarvis and Jake Holden for the Huskies and Vikings respectively both played excellent games. 40 saves for Jarvis, 37 for Holden. Shots on goal staying pretty even in the first period tonight, as Washington enjoyed a 10-9 advantage through one period. But Jarvis solid so far for Washington as they lead 3-0. When we return for the second period, Washington will have 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining on the power play after Dawson Roberts was assessed a 2-minute roughing penalty late in the first. Right around the same time, Mark McDonald assessed a game misconduct for the Vikings, so Western without one of its key defensemen for the rest of this one. Western will be off next weekend for the Thanksgiving break. The following weekend, November 30th, they take on University of Oregon down in Eugene. It'll be a 7 p.m. puck drop in that one. Again, I'm Walker Sakon for the Western Washington University Hockey Club. I want to thank you for joining us on our YouTube broadcast of this one. 2 minutes and 35 seconds now remaining in the first intermission. I'll be right back with you just ahead of the second period. First intermission buzzer just sounding here at Bellingham Sportsplex. 3-0 lead for the Huskies ahead of the second period in this one.
Guys ready?
At the repeated request of Washington's skater Mason Friedman, I'd
I'll lock you
like
in
to
with
say
the, angry people.
hi, Mom, on behalf of Mason to Susan Friedman. Enjoying the game this evening from San Ramon, California. As that's Stoneham out there winning the draw for the Vikings, now underway with a minute remaining in the Roberts penalty. That one played back down the length, tipped in on Holden by Washington. Now they take it in the far corner. And behind Holden there, Gamble battling for Western. Gamble clears that one off the boards and all the way down it goes. 30 seconds now left on the Roberts penalty. Washington now gaining the Western zone once more in on Holden. They go wraparound attempt there and a save Holden. 19 minutes, 12 seconds remaining in the second period. 16 seconds left now on the Roberts penalty for Western. It'll be Hoffman and Gamble defensively for Western. Stoneham and McCallum, the forwards. McCallum in there for the draw, and McCallum wins it back to Gamble, who plays it off the boards to Stoneham. Stoneham's able to clear that one down, and 8 seconds, 7 seconds remaining now on the Roberts penalty, as Western gets a much-needed kill there with 18:56 remaining in the period, but Washington in once more, poked away by Stoneham. Gamble pass there for McCallum. McCallum couldn't handle it, but it winds up back with Gamble, who turns it over to Washington. Now flipped in on Holden, just across the front of the goal there for Washington. Back the other way goes Stoneham. Stoneham will dump and chase. Jarvis will glove that for a stoppage. 18:31 now remaining in the period. Now McCallum off, Stoneham off for the Vikings, and it'll be Fanton, McNanny, and McCracken the forwards. Fanton on the face-off wins that one. McNanny plays around to McCracken, who's run into there, and Chu sends it out to center ice, flipped back in by Gamble for Western. And behind Jarvis now, that's Jaski for Washington, up to Nels. Gamble there to play it for Western, but he's run into, and Nels eventually took it out there, turned over to McCracken, who shot it just wide of Jarvis. Now back out to Fanton, who plays it once more in around behind Jarvis. McNanny there for Washington, but winds up with Jaski now. His pass errant, and Hoffman will regather behind Holden for Western. Now Hoffman's pass along the boards to McCracken. McCracken tried to leave that one for Fanton, but a little too late as Fanton skates by. Now dumped back into the Western zone. Nels there for Washington, but he loses his skates, so Hoffman will take it. Hoffman plays a pass to McNanny. McNanny into the Washington zone, rather, and he'll chase. Now in the near corner, that's Montrose there defensively for Western, breaking that play up. Montrose in behind. It winds up with Cloutier, his line mate, on the far boards. Cloutier loses it, and Chu heads the other way. Now in on Holden, a shot there, kicked wide by Holden. To the corner they go. Montrose in behind. Once more, that one went in on the side of Holden's goal there, as Cloutier pokes at this one, but still Washington able to hold the offensive zone. In on Holden now, a shot there by Friedman. Now to the corner they go. That's pass out in front now, saved by Holden. Now McNanny will clear the zone for Western, but too long and icing called. 16:27 remaining in the second period. Still a 3-goal lead for the Huskies in this one. That's Kai Farmer in there on the faceoff. Now through the neutral ice goes Western as Montrose is taken down, but Hoffman comes away with it. Shot by Hoffman there, saved by Jarvis. Now Roberts plays it to the corner and Stoneham. McCallum there now for Western, joined by Stoneham. Pass back around behind Jarvis, taken by Washington. Along the near boards, turned over, and Stoneham wraps that one back around. Now McCallum there, pass to Stoneham, broken up. Budnick's pass too hard for McCallum, and nearly out in front. Now out in front the puck is, and UW will slap that one back around to the near corner. Nab plays it in behind once more. Stoneham behind now. Stoneham looking to pass. And eventually it's cleared by Washington past the goal line, and icing is called. 15:23 now remaining in the second period. Only one penalty thus far for Washington in this one. Huskies have done a good job staying out of the penalty box. Not too many opportunities for Washington and Western Washington, and Jarvis has been solid when the Vikings have had chances, as that's Gamble battling for that one. Now it goes through the neutral ice. Hoffman back to play it for Western. Hoffman wheels behind Holden looking to pass, and he does. That's Stoneham for Western. Stoneham flips it high into the near corner. He and McCallum will chase it there as that one winds up with UW now. They'll go through the neutral ice and left for a mate, but Hoffman takes it for Western. Gamble up the near boards. Turned over to Jaski. It's Gordon DeLapp. Now shooting chance for UW as blocked by Hoffman. Hoffman still on the puck there as DeLapp lost sight of it. Now Gamble skates away with it. Gamble with some momentum. Gamble, nice move, but he's pushed off the puck by Jaski, and it trickles harmlessly all the way down to Jarvis for another stoppage. 14:15 remaining now in the second period. It's going to be Fanton, McCracken, and McNanny, the forwards. Fanton in on the draw. That's Budnick and Nab defensively for Western. Christian Cinderella, Gordon DeLapp, and Ryan Jerriman, the forwards for the Huskies. Pardon, Evan Bodenstub, the other forward, as whistle here. 14:03 remaining in the period. So once again, it'll be Fanton in there for the draw. Fanton takes on Cinderella, and the Huskies control. Forced back in by Cam Budnick now for Western. McNanny plays that around to McCracken, unable to handle it, and now turned over by UW to Nab. McCracken gains the zone now. McCracken into the corner he goes. Knocked down. Now Jaski for the Huskies. Jaski wheels and Eventually passes, turned over once more by the Huskies. Nab slaps that one, but right back to Jaski. Now long pass by Jaski, and in on Holden, all alone is Cinderella. Backhand attempt there, saved Holden. A rebound attempt, blocked. Another block on a rebound. Puck still loose. Pass out in front of Holden. Now still the puck is loose in behind. A pass right in front once more, but no one home for Washington, as the Huskies continue to threaten. 13 minutes remaining in the period. Now Hoytink, McNanny, and Montrose, the forwards for Western. Budnick plays that one off the glass out to center ice. Montrose now taking it for Western. Montrose shooting but blocked. And eventually he does shoot, save Jarvis. Now flipped out to Gamble. Gamble plays to Hoffman. Hoffman will lift that one into the far corner. Montrose there now for Western into the corner. And Washington heads the other way. That's Nels for the Huskies, gaining the zone. Saucer pass broken up by Gamble. Still loose. In behind now goes Cinderella. Wheeling in the corner and losing the puck to Gamble. Gamble will usher that one along to Cloutier, who's run into and eventually gets the puck to Montrose, heading the other way. Montrose will dump and change. Hoytink there in the corner for Western. Now Stoneham. Turned over there momentarily, but Stoneham poking at it. Now Hoffman controls at the blue line, and eventually it bounces out. Western's offside, so they'll have to leave that one. Now that puck bouncing and rolling all the way down to Holden, who will glove that to the ice for a stoppage. 11:38 remaining in the period. Vikings missing Jack Thornton and Roland Roblato, defensive regulars tonight. Now also missing Mark McDonald, the game misconduct assessed at the end of the first period there. It's McCallum, Stoneham, and Roberts, the forwards for Western, as Washington possesses now. Washington losing it to the corner. Now pass out in front, and I believe that was Garrod losing the puck for Washington. Almost a good chance for the Huskies. Now Hoffman goes the other way. The Western Vikings have a chance of their own. Pass to Roberts. Roberts shoots and saved Jarvis. Nice bit of play there by the Vikings. Kyle Hoffman setting up Dawson Roberts with a good scoring chance. And the shot wound up in the chest and eventually the glove of Jarvis for Washington. Still a 3-goal lead for the Huskies, as Western has not yet cracked that goose egg. Now McCracken off the face-off, plays it back to Budnick. Hard pass off the boards, forced in by Nab. McCracken taking this one once more for Western. Warren's there for Washington. McNanny winds up with it though. Now Warren for the Huskies, hard pass, cross ice off the boards, taken by his mate. In they go, and poked away by Nab. Nab plays one off the boards, but Washington will head the other way. Now long pass, that's Warren for Washington. Warren with a shooting lane, glove save, Holden. .10:25 now remaining in the second period of this one. That's McCracken, Fanton, and McNanny, the forwards. Gamble and Hoffman, defenders for Western. Western controls off the face-off, only briefly though, as now the Huskies will play it in the corner. Gamble takes it once more, pokes that one loose to Fanton. Fanton will play it off the boards and into the Washington zone. Fanton to chase, and looks like a penalty coming. It'll be interference called against Western. Scratch that, it'll be a Jaski penalty for Washington. So Western heads to the power play. 2 minutes for interference. to Jaski. So Western goes back on the power play, only the second time this evening. Will be Stoneham in there on the face-off, played back to Hoffman. Hoffman passes Gamble. Gamble back to Hoffman. Back to Gamble. Gamble loses that off his skate. He's able to recover, still possessing his Gamble, and eventually turning it over. Washington clearance there, feathered down where his man will chase, but Hoffman picks it up for Western. Hoffman heads right back the other way. Nab and Stoneham joining Hoffman. He'll flip that one in on Jarvis, chase the rebound, but stoppage whistled. 9 minutes, 40 seconds remaining now. Minute 30 seconds remaining on the Jaski penalty for Washington. Power play unit now for Western: Stoneham, Nab, Roberts, Hoffman, and Gamble. As Gamble pass to Hoffman, one time there, kick save Jarvis off the face-off. Back to Hoffman now. Hoffman plays it into Nab. Vikings controlling, pass out front there, no one home. Now Roberts on the far side. Roberts in behind Stoneham and Nab there for Western. Nab back to Hoffman. Hoffman shoots through traffic. Jarvis will squeeze that one for another stoppage. So minute 2 seconds remaining on the Jaski penalty now. 9:12 remaining in the second period. Still 3-0 Washington. And still Nab, Roberts, Stoneham, Gamble, and Hoffman for the Vikings. As Washington clears that one off of the face-off, down to Holden. Holden now leaves it for Hoffman. Hoffman wheels behind Holden and starts up ice. Hoffman tried to dump that one in. He's able to recover it now. Hoffman has a man out front. That's Roberts on the backhand. Rebound still loose. Puck still loose in behind Jarvis, but another good save for Bennett Jarvis as that one's cleared right in on Holden. Now Gamble will pick it up for the Vikings. 24 seconds remaining on the Jaski penalty. Gamble now from behind Holden, played to Hoffman. Hoffman will flip that one in behind Jaski. Now Roberts in the far corner. Stoneham in behind. Stoneham looking to pass. He does to Gamble on the blue line. Cross the blue line to Hoffman. Jaski out of the box for Washington, so back to full strength are the Huskies. As Western got some good chances there, but still unable to put one past Bennett Jarvis. Now Washington the other way. Pass across there. Shot high, bouncing right out in front of Holden once more, but Roberts goes the other way for Western. Nice move by Roberts, creating some space. Roberts still shooting. Save Jarvis, rebound loose. Still loose, in and behind, it comes out in front. Fenton almost with a chance at it there, but the other way for Washington. It's Thomas Krivak leaving that one for the Huskies. Now Stoneham off the glass. Back to Jerriman for Washington. Jerriman played a pass off the boards of his own, but Budnick broke it up and sent it right back to him. As an icing's called now. 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the period. Still 3-0 Washington, as that's going to be Fenton in there on the face-off for Western. McNanny and McCracken. Other forwards, Hoffman and Gamble defensively. Now Jerriman behind Jarvis, plays it up. Gaining the Western Washington zone, rather, is Washington. Holden stops that one, leaves it behind his cage. McNanny eventually skating with it and playing it up the boards to McCracken. McCracken couldn't control, but Washington offsides now. Still offsides is Washington. And now back on sides as Hoffman will chase. Hoffman now with a little room to skate. Hoffman makes a nice move there, but tripped up as he went through traffic. Maybe one too many moves for Kyle Hoffman. Now it's Jerriman the other way for Washington. Jerriman, hard shot there, saved Holden. Back around, pass out in front, broken up by Fanton, who takes it back left to right now for Western. Fanton gaining the zone, shooting, save Jarvis, and another stoppage. 6 minutes, 10 seconds remaining now. It's Montrose on the face-off for Western. Pipple wins it for Washington, and now the Huskies heading in on Western, broken up by Budnick. So Montrose goes the other way. Montrose now making a move to the near corner. Pass out in front, Montrose. Just in front of Jarvis went that pass, but no shot for Western. Now Budnick on the blue line to Nab. Nab gathers the puck eventually, plays it in to Hoytink. Along the boards, Hoytink is joined by Cloutier and Montrose. Montrose's pass out in front as he was tripped up, but no call. Now Budnick with a big hit for Western, breaking that play up. Still Washington though. Shot from a short angle on Holden, who will glove that one. 5 minutes and 18 seconds. It's going to be McCallum, Roberts, and Stoneham, the forwards, Gamble, and Hoffman, the defenders. Now McCallum winning that draw for Western eventually. Washington controls. Spoke too soon as it winds up back with Western. Roberts the other way. He'll skate back and gather himself to reset. Roberts pass off the boards to Gamble. Gamble has Stoneham and McCallum on his left and lost the puck. Now it goes back the other way. Hoffman will gather just in front of Holden. Hoffman wheels around behind Holden now. Spinning is Kyle Hoffman for Western, run into by Nels, and has to pass that one along the boards. But out front now Washington, backhand in on Holden there.
It's a referee thing.
Now Roberts, nice pass to Stoneham. Stoneham unable to cleanly control. McCallum takes it at the blue line, but looks like an offsides called against the Vikings. It'll be 4:24 remaining in the second period. No change for the Vikings. It'll be McCallum's line out there offensively, Gamble and Hoffman on defense. That's Friedman in there on the face-off for Washington. Now Hoffman for Western. Hoffman gaining the zone, flipping that in behind Jarvis. Held in by Hoffman. Nice play with a little room to skate as Hoffman. In front has Stoneham. Pass there, broken up. Now the other way goes Washington. It's Friedman in on Gamble. Friedman shooting and gloved Holden there. .356 remaining in the second period. Vikings threatening of late, but still haven't beaten Bennett Jarvis to this point for the Huskies. It's Fanton now in on the face-off for Western. Now Friedman in on Holden, loses the puck across the front of the goal. Still the Huskies, turned over now to McCracken, held in by Jaski though. Budnick plays it around back, Nab tips it and turned over to Grodd. Now Jaski pokes that one back in past the end line there. Now Jaski controls, shot blocked just wide of Holden. Now Budnick's harassed but still possessing the puck. able to get it far enough as McCracken goes the other way now. He's got Fantin in front of him, but run into as he dumps the puck was McCracken. McNanny in there now for Western on the forecheck. This one out to Garrod. Around center ice, turned over to Montrose. Now Jerriman gaining the zone for Washington. Jerriman shooting there. Holden save, and it winds up in behind. Now Western able to clear. McNanny flips that one forward. 2 minutes 42 seconds remaining in the period. Now Warren for the Huskies, run into by Hoytink. Pass across the front taken by Hoffman. Now puck trickles once more across the front of Holden's crease and turned over by Hoytink. Gamble played that one along the backboards. Gamble wound up with it once more, and now finally Western able to break out. Montrose will change, Cloutier will change. That's Hoytink in there on the forecheck, now joined by McCallum and Stoneham. Pass back to Gamble for Western, Hoffman the other way. Hoffman will take that one up the far boards. Right in front now, rebound loose, and the goal is knocked off just as Hoffman and Stoneham were there with a chance to clean up that rebound for Western. Still Western threatening here late in the second period, but still the Vikings trailing by 3 goals. Now with the goal reset, it'll be Gamble and Hoffman defensively for Western. Roberts, McCallum, and Stoneham at forwards. Hoffman now for the Vikings, flips that one high into the Huskies bench. So another face-off coming. This Western team can come awake in a hurry. They proved that last night at the beginning of the third period. But pair of quick goals. As Stoneham now heads in on Jarvis, shooting, rebound still loose there, backhand by McCallum for the Vikings in behind Jarvis. Now the puck out in front, the pass, but another save by Jarvis. Now Hoffman from the blue line into Roberts. Hoffman pokes at that one, but Washington goes the other way. Pass there, taken by Roberts. Nice play defensively for the Vikings. Roberts to Gamble. Gamble up for Stoneham, but turned over. Gamble taking it now. Making a move is Gamble. And broken up on the toe drag. Now Washington the other way, held by Hoffman. 56 seconds remaining in the period. In behind now are the Huskies. Featherman wraps that one off the boards. Now it's a foot race as Delap's down there with Hoffman. Hoffman gets to it first, so the Vikings head the other way. Long pass broken up just as it got to Hoffman, but still Western controls. It's Fantin now playing that one high off the glass. 25 seconds remaining in the period now. Cinderella plays it in for Nels. Nels with room to skate as Gamble went just the other direction. Wide of Holden. Now nice hit there by Andrew Hoytink, and Western's able to clear. Cinderella, though, once more right back in on Andrew Gamble. Nice move by Cinderella, back the other way and then broken up. Jaski holds that one at the blue line for UW. Run into by Fantin, and the cross check to the back of Fantin by Jaski. Now he'll hear from Hoffman and Hoytink over that one, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have penalties coming to start the third period. The initial cross-check from Jaski likely penalized. Wouldn't be surprised if Hoytink or Hoffman also receive penalties, one or the other. buzzer sounding in the second period as Fanton was knocked to the ice by Jaski. 17 minutes here for our second intermission as the Huskies lead 3-0 over your Western Washington University Vikings. As always, thanks for joining us. I'll be right back with you ahead of the start of the third period with the shots on goal update. The theme in that department has been an even contest back and forth and a lot of shots both ways this weekend so far. We'll see if that held up in that period in the official count. Definitely chances for both teams. Western threatening throughout the period, but Bennett Jarvis solid for the Huskies. After 2, 3 Washington, 0 Western Washington University. I'm Walker Sakon for the Western Washington University Hockey Club. I'll be right back with you ahead of the third period. Just getting a quick update from the officials on those penalties at the end of the period now. There are indeed penalties assessed for the incident there where Fanton was knocked to the ice by Jaski, Hoffman and Hoytink responding for Western. So it'll be 2 minutes for the cross-check assessed to Jaski. And I believe a 5-on-4 power play for the Vikings for 2 minutes to start the third. Once more, folks, I'll be back with you about 3 minutes ahead of the start of the third period. Welcome back aboard, hockey fans. The Western Washington University Hockey Club YouTube broadcast of this Pack 8 contest between your Western Washington University Vikings and the University of Washington Huskies. Still 3-0 Huskies in this one after 2 periods of play. Shots on goal thus far, and an advantage for Washington of only 2 shots after 2 periods, with a 1-shot advantage officially in each period. So 10-9 in the first advantage for Washington, 15-14 advantage in the second period, shots on goal. Again, the incident at the end of the second period, Konsta-Jaski for Washington with the cross-check to Lucas Fanton of the Vikings. Will be 2-minute minor for cross-checking to Jaski. Additionally, there will be incidental minors served by Lucas Fanton. And the second penalty for Washington yet to be assessed, but it will be coming. Again, Jaski assessed the cross-check, and then incidental minors assessed for roughing to Fanton and Chu for the Huskies, now finally heading to the box. So Western will spend the first 2 minutes of this period on the power play, down 3 goals in this one. It'll be Robert Stoneham and Nab the forwards. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Nab, versatile player, started the season as a forward, has been playing mostly defense, and now back on the top forward line here for Coach McDonald. That's Hoffman in behind Jarvis now. Still Hoffman taken by Nels and poked across the length of the ice. Jerriman will clear that one all the way down to Holden. Now a minute and 34 seconds remaining on the Western power play. Penalty to Jaski as Hoffman heads up the near boards. He'll play that one around behind Jarvis. It's now Stoneham, cleared once more by Washington. Minute 15 remaining on the Jaski penalty. Gamble plays that one from out behind Holden to Hoffman, now back to Gamble. Minute and 5 seconds remaining on the Jaski penalty. Gamble still with it in behind Holden. Now 55 seconds remaining on the penalty. Long pass there. Stoneham tips it in. It'll go right in on Jarvis. Cleared by Washington as far as Holden at the Western blue line. Hoffman goes down after that one, but Nels takes it the other way for Washington. Turned over there. Now Gamble heads back right to left for Western. Gamble across the near face-off circle. Gamble in behind. Pass now to the blue line. That was McCallum. Tipping it back into the near corner. Now cleared once more. 20 seconds remaining on the Jaski penalty. Budnick plays that up to Stoneham. Stoneham back to Budnick, but taken by Nels. Now Nels and Budnick in a foot race. Nels in on Holden. Nels shoots and saved. Holden, rebound loose in the corner. Gamble taking it now in behind Holden, and Jaski heads out for Washington. That one turned over, and McNanny now playing that in for Gamble. Back around to McNanny. McNanny's pass too wide for Gamble there, and Washington will head back the other way. That's Johnny White leaving it for... And now in behind Holden they go. Right out in front the pass, but no one home. Nice move there, but lost the puck in the process. MJ Myers for the Huskies, and back down for an icing. 17-14 remaining now in the period. Friedman in there on the face-off, taking on Fanton for the Vikings. Back to the blue line for Washington now, back along the near boards. McNanny got a stick on that one. Now shot on Holden, another shot on Holden. Save and stop now. 17:02 remaining in the period. It'll be Keats Montrose in there for the face-off for Western. Cloutier and Hoytink, the other forwards, Gamble and Hoffman, defenders, as that one's controlled by Garrod off the face-off. Now in on Holden they go, but Friedman knocks the net off.
Just for you.
Be another defensive zone face-off for the Vikings here with 16:55 remaining in this contest. Montrose in there for the face-off. Friedman winning it though for the Huskies. Now D to D for Jerriman. Featherman now losing it into the Western zone. Hoffman losing his stick in the process for the Vikings, but they'll recover it as whistled for a stoppage now with 16:38 remaining in the period. Get a fresh puck in there for another defensive zone face-off for Western. Still Montrose, Cloutier, Hoytink, Hoffman, and Gamble for the Vikings. And on the draw, that's a UW with a shot chance. Another shot there on Holden. His player fanned on the first shot, bouncing puck in on Holden. Slapped off of the bounce by his teammate, and a good kick save by the Western freshman. Now 16:30 remaining in the period. That's McCallum, Robertson, Stoneham on now for Western. It'll be Jack McCallum on the draw, and wins it cleanly to the corner. It's Hoffman there for Western. Now a slap shot off the point, kicked wide by Gamble. Pass out front, no one home for Washington, but the puck loose just in front of Holden's cage all the way out to the slot. Now played back around. Stark there for Washington, but Gamble now the other way. It's Gamble and Roberts. Gamble, nice play to take that from the Washington man, but only controlled it for a moment as he runs into Stoneham along the wall. Now played back along the end boards. It'll still be played in the corner now, and eventually Washington comes out. A long pass there for Stark, turned over to Gamble. Now Hoffman to Roberts for Western. Roberts through the neutral ice, gaining the Washington zone, and run into, knocked off the puck was Dawson Roberts there. In on Holden now, but poked away by the Western freshman to Gamble. Now Stoneham the other direction. Stoneham pass for McCallum, just too long. Now McCallum pokes that one loose in behind Jarvis. Stoneham's there for Western. Now McNanny for the Vikings sends that one back the other way, and pass winds up with Gamble across the red line. Stoneham will flip that one in on Jarvis, bouncing and redirected past him. McNanny there for Western. Once more Washington heading the other way. Played by Hoffman across to Nab. D to D, back to Hoffman. Hoffman now, McCallum. McCallum will flip that one into the near corner. McNanny to chase for Western. Now McCallum joins McNanny there, winds up with Fanton in the slot. Fanton shoots well high. 14:18 remaining now in the third period. Vikings still trailing by 3 in this one. It's going to be Montrose, Hoytink, and Cloutier, the forwards now. For Western, Christian Cinderella, Connor Nels, and Stephen Chu, the forwards for Washington. As Montrose got a stick on that one, but it winds up with Chu, who will dump and chase, but Holden will glove that for a stoppage. 14-10 now remaining in the game. Yeah, another defensive zone face-off coming for Western. It's Keats Montrose in there on the draw, joined by Cloutier and Hoytink. And off the face-off, UW control. That's a shot by Jerriman from the point. Hoffman takes a whack at it in behind Holden now, and loose in the corner. Pass out front one time there by Nels, but a save by Holden. Now back in behind Cinderella. Pass out front once more. Finds Nels, but no shot for Washington. Now turned over to Chu. Backhand pass in the area of Cinderella, but the centerman unable to get a stick on it as it winds up in behind Holden. Flipped out towards Hoytink along the near boards, but taken by Jerriman. Now played back in behind Holden. Slap shot there, wide of Holden. Chu plays that one back in. Nabs there for Western to poke at it, and it trickles across the ice to Hoytink. Hoytink will flip that one off the glass as Western gets a forward group change. It's Stoneham, Roberts, and McCallum out there now. 13-17 remaining in the third period. Three-goal lead still in this one for Washington. Face-off won there by the Huskies, and a shot through traffic saved Holden. Now 13-12 remaining in the period. All three Husky goals in this one coming in the first period. No scoring by either team since. Sort of the opposite of last night's game, which saw all three of the game's goals scored in the third period, 2 by Western and 1 by Washington. That one goes down for an icing. Callum, Stoneham, and Roberts still the forwards. That's Hoffman and Gamble defensively. As now McCallum's in there for the face-off, and Western controls. Pass in behind to Stoneham. Stoneham looking to pass out front. Broken up. Now Stoneham still looking to pass. Redirected in there. No velocity, and puck loose in front. Western unable to get a shot there. Jarvis did kick one puck, but on a pass. Now that one shot right across the front of Holden's cage, taken the other way by Roberts. Now Stoneham gaining the Washington zone and shooting hard, but gloved by Jarvis. 12 minutes, 28 seconds now remaining in this one. So that's Fenton and McNanny out there for the Vikings. Double shift now for the captain, Alex Stoneham. It's a good, sizable line now for the Vikings, but Washington controls off the face-off, played around behind Jarvis. Hoffman stepping up on that one, run into though, and Washington now goes the other way. Featherman's pass broken up by Hoffman, so Stoneham will retreat, play it around behind Holden to McNanny. Now into the neutral ice, and D-to-D goes Washington, as that entry pass is tipped high into the Western bench. Again, all three goals in this one coming in the first period. As that's Farmer in there, the face-off for Washington, but Montrose winning it for the Vikings. Hoffman will dump that one. Cloutier chases into the corner. Hoytink there for Western, losing his stick. Now Warren for the Vikings. Hoffman back defensively. Warren's pass out front taken by Gamble. Gamble plays that one back around to Hoffman. Hoffman's pass to Hoytink, redirected to Montrose, and the Vikings break out. Montrose dumped that one. Puck was tipped, so no ice. And it was Krivak, long pass there. Stark chasing for Washington. Nab's back for the Vikings, and he'll possess it. Now Nab passes one along the boards all the way back to Krivak. Up to Stark now for Washington. Nab once more breaking that play up. Now Nab beating one man, but poked away. Washington back in as pass there broken up by Budnick. Budnick will go to the corner and battle for it. Now up to the far point. That's Jaski. Pass by him. Flipped into the corner. Budnick there in behind Holden. Now McCallum for Western. McCallum's pass, but nobody home, so it's taken by Jerriman for Washington. As a big hit there by Alex Stoneham. Shot in by McCallum, saved by Jarvis. Now pass out in front for the Vikings. Puck loose there. No shot once more by Western. That was a big hit by Alex Stoneham. Set that one up. Roberts pokes this one in, heads in, and he's tripped. A penalty coming. And late whistle, but tripping penalty. So 10 minutes, 18 seconds remaining in the third, and Western will head to the power play. It's going to be Shamus Pipple to the box for Washington. Pipple takes a 2-minute penalty for tripping. 9 minutes, 42 seconds in the third period. Another big power play chance here for your Western Vikings, down 3-0. That's Gamble, Hoffman, Roberts, Stoneham, and Nab out there. Very active couple of shifts for this group as Hoffman shot that one, didn't get much on it, and now it's cleared by Washington. Holden leaves that for Roberts. Now Roberts wheeling in front of Holden, playing a pass for Gamble. Gamble didn't see it and cleared back down once more by Washington. That's Hoffman leaving it for Roberts. Now Roberts for Western. And finally Western able to gain the Washington zone on this power play again. But Jaski will clear that one from behind, held by Hoffman. Good job by Hoffman to hold it, but Washington plays it out immediately afterwards. 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining on the Washington penalty as that one's taken from Gamble. Cinderella has Nels. Good pass out across there, and Nels was unable to get it on goal, but Cinderella scores. Not the power play Western was hoping for here, as they now trail 4-0 on the shorthanded goal by Christian Cinderella, rather.
15 from 13.
It was Cinderella, the goal. 10 minutes, 40 seconds in the third period. Cinderella scoring assisted by Connor Nels, shorthanded. So now the Vikings still with 1 minute remaining on the power play, but trailing by 4 goals in this one with 9 minutes, 19 seconds left to play. It's McCallum, McNanny, and Stoneham out there. Fanton and Budnick, the defense. Now McCallum through the neutral ice. He's got Stoneham with him. McCallum goes around behind Jarvis still. Pass out in front. No one home. A shot there by Budnick, but not much on it as it's saved by Jarvis. Now McCallum back to Fantine for the Vikings. Fanton shot there and high and wide of Jarvis, but another penalty coming against Washington. So 8 minutes, 49 seconds remaining now in the third period, and it'll be Jay Deshpande heading to the box for Washington. That's 2 minutes for cross-checking. Assessed at 11 minutes, 11 seconds in the third period, so 30 seconds of 5-on-3 action now for the Vikings. followed by another minute 29 seconds of power play time. It's Stoneham, Roberts, and Nab, the forwards. Gamble and Hoffman defensively. Played back to Hoffman now. No need to rush. 30 seconds here. As a shot there, gloved by Jarvis. Now 8:42 remaining in the period.
Number 67, David Butler. 2 minutes for cross-checking.
That's Stoneham in there on the draw. Hoffman retreats, gathering that back in the western zone. Now Hoffman across the red line, passes to Gamble. Gamble for Western, losing the puck, spinning is Gamble. Now possessing and back to Hoffman. Hoffman to Gamble. Now Gamble, pass across to Nab. Nab shoots and save Jarvis there. Puck loose in the corner. Nab on it. Nab's joined by Stoneham as minute and 20 seconds remaining on the power play now, but just 5-on-4 for Western. Gamble retreats back to play that one. 8 minutes remaining in the period. Now Roberts. Roberts through the neutral ice. Roberts pass back to Hoffman. Hoffman back to Roberts, unable to handle it, and now Washington heading the other way. That's Friedman. 50 seconds left on the penalty as Friedman's shot there, saved by Holden. Now Stoneham and Nab the other way, 2-on-2. Stoneham to the corner. Stoneham, pass out in front, no one home for Western. And cleared off the boards down to Holden. 33 seconds now remaining. Hoffman gains the zone for Western. Now pass out to Nab on the blue line, and Nab couldn't get to it, so all the way down to Holden it goes. Now 13 seconds remaining on the Dace Panday penalty. 10 seconds now left on this power play as Budnick breaks through the neutral ice, but that pass broken up. Now turned over by Washington. They get it back, though, as Dace Panday joins the defensive effort now, passing there for Farmer. Farmer was unable to gain the zone. Montrose there for the Vikings. Back to Jaski. Now Washington, now from the slot. Blocked by Nab. Cloutier wraps it back around for Nab. Now back on the blue line, another shot there, blocked by Gamble this time. As Cloutier's pass there goes wide, and Hoffman retrieves it now from the corner. Pass out front, Gamble takes it there. Now Gamble for Western to Cloutier, who clears the Viking zone. As that pass goes errant for Washington. Gamble once more in behind Holden. Off the boards back into the neutral ice. It's Featherman now for Washington. D to D. He goes to Krivak. Montrose in on Krivak now. Now Featherman. Pass there for Nels, but winds up in the Western zone. Shot there, saved Holden. Bouncing puck high in behind the cage. Still loose as Holden sprawling, and looks like another great save by the Western freshman. Washington skater hits the ice, and maybe a penalty coming. It's 5:19 remaining in the period now as Holden sprawled for that one to get a stoppage, and through the traffic we saw the fall of Gordon Delap for the Huskies. And the extension of the referee's arm, it's Kyle Hoffman headed to the box for Western. It's going to be 2 minutes for roughing assessed to Hoffman at 14:41 in the third period. So up 4-0. Washington heads on the power play. The The penalty killers for Western will be Stoneham, Gamble, McCallum, and Fanton.
Kyle Hoffman, 2 minutes for roughing.
So 5:19 remaining in the period. The Vikings will play 2 minutes of that remaining 5 minutes on the penalty kill here, barring a Washington goal or another penalty. Down 4 goals. This game may come down to this kill for Western. No time to spare as they need to score, much less keep UW from scoring. So that one's broken up by Stoneham, but Pipple for Washington gains the zone. Now shot by Featherman, well high and wide of Holden. It's still Washington possession now. Pass along the blue line into the high slot. Shot there and they score. Good shot by Evan Bodenstab for Washington, beating Holden. Stick side. May have been redirected. There was plenty of traffic there, and 15 minutes, 20 seconds into the third period. Washington now leads this game by 5. As we'll have to pause for a skate blade left on the ice. Pointed out by a Washington parent.
That's why he came off.
Again, 5-0 lead now for the Huskies in this one with 4 minutes 40 seconds remaining. UW goal, Evan Bodenstab. 15 minutes 20 seconds in the third period. Correction. The officials telling us that Pipple scored that goal, 14. Maybe a case of confusing the numbers there. As Budnick dumps this one for Western. 4 minutes 30 seconds remaining in the third period. It's McCallum playing it back in behind Jarvis. Now loose in front, but cleared out by Washington. Stoneham there, breaking that play up. Now taken by Stoneham. Stoneham passed back into Roberts. Roberts pass out front. McCallum couldn't get to it, but Stoneham takes it once more and then turns it right back over. Now Garrod passes across to Friedman for Washington. And fake shot there from the blue line. Now they do shoot just high of the goal, and in behind Holden. Now to the far boards it goes, the far corner. Bouncing puck played by McCallum. Out to Deshpande, and pass across now for Washington. Shot there, saved by Holden, and he'll corral this one for a stoppage with 3 minutes 31 seconds remaining in the game. Washington doing their best work at the beginning and end of this game, scoring 3 goals in the first, bookending it with another 2 in the third. As barring a miracle, Western will fall to 4 and 6 in Pac 8 play this evening. Cloutier plays that one for the Vikings. Montrose able to clear Western zone, but back the other way goes Stark. His shot low and on Holden, not much on that one, and Holden will glove it for a stoppage, so 3:11 remaining. Again, tonight's game, the last home action for the Vikings until the first weekend of February, heading on the road the next couple weeks, after taking next weekend off for Thanksgiving, that is. Now 3 minutes remaining in the third. That's Jerriman flipping that high into the far corner. Gamble wraps it around for Hoytink.
the boards, and Whitink still there battling for it. They hit the ice and whistle. Looks like it'll be a penalty coming. Two minutes, 40 seconds on the clock, and Washington penalty. That'll be Spencer Warren to the box. It's a check from behind. 2-minute minor for Spencer Warren.
I'm assuming so. He did it so
It's Gamble and Hoffman out there defensively. Stoneham, Roberts, and Nab. The forwards, as Western has 2 minutes on the power play with 2 minutes 40 seconds remaining in this one. Hopefully for the Vikings, a lot less power play time than that, as they will need a quick goal here if they want any hope in this game. Really multiple quick goals here, down 5 now with 2:25 remaining. Now Hoffman. Pass in front. Nab, D to D. Roberts there, rather. Roberts will play it for Gamble. Gamble shot. Rebound loose. It winds up back with Gamble. Gamble, pass across to Hoffman. Hoffman waiting. Now pass back across to Gamble. Too hot for Gamble. Now Gamble waiting. Pass out in front. Stoneham's there. Rebound, and Jarvis will glove that one. Minute 48 now remaining, with a minute and 8 seconds remaining on the Western power play here. Really, this game, I would hazard to say, a little closer than the scoreboard portrays it. Through 2 periods, just a 2 shots on goal advantage for Washington, and Western was buzzing in the second, but a pair of goals iced this one in the third for the Huskies, as Gamble turns that one over with a minute 35 remaining. It's Friedman in now for Washington, taken by Hoffman. 45 seconds remaining on the Western power play, minute 25 seconds remaining in the game, as Gamble's tied up down past the end line there. Hoffman winds up with it, and a whistle as we have a scrum. A pair of players hitting the ice, and now Hoffman in there. Punch is thrown. Still, they wrestle around the officials getting in there to break it up. I think that play may have started with Gamble being run into. Gamble's pulled out of the scrum. Eventually Hoffman pulled out. Hoffman still with words for Johnny White of the Huskies. As we pick up the pieces here. And straighten out the equipment now. Gloves, sticks, and helmets litter the ice. And there will be ejections coming as a result of that scrum. Minute 15 remaining. As Friedman making his way off now for Washington. Minute 15 remaining. Western still with 35 seconds on the power play ahead of that scrum. We'll see what comes of it. And still no signals from the officials here. So the referees try and get the penalties straight, interpret what they saw just now amidst the chaos, and sort our way through this with no doubt penalties coming. As Hoffman and Gamble not on the ice or the bench for Western. Likely safe to assume Hoffman will be tossed. I believe I saw him throw a punch. And again, no sign of Andrew Gamble. I'm not sure if Washington had any skaters sent off, none that I could see from here. And it looks like McNanny will head to the box for Western. Friedman just now putting his jersey back on there. So now we'll get some explanation from the officials. It's going to be double minor assessed to Andrew Gamble, and with 1:15 remaining, the game misconduct. So the double minor for roughing to Gamble. And Hoffman has been disqualified. So Hoffman and Gamble off for Western. And it'll be 2 minutes to Friedman for a slashing for Washington.
Which numbers? 23 has 5 minutes. He like 23 on there. 10 has 2 minutes.
So McNanny in the box for the Vikings. Friedman and Warren for Washington. As 5-minute major assessed to Hoffman, disqualification for him. Mark McDonald, of course, the game misconduct assessed right at the end of the second period in this one. And now with 1:15 remaining, down 5 goals, all that's left is to play out the string. Finally, we'll get to the final 1:15, which will be 35 seconds of 4-on-3 power play for Washington, followed by the remainder of the contest, up 5-on-3, as Gamble's penalty will last through the end of this third period. It's off the face-off Roberts for Western. Roberts clears that one down just into the far corner there, where it'll be played by Jerriman for Washington. Now across the neutral ice, that's Cinderella. And on Nab, leaves it for Nels. Pass back to Jerriman. Jerriman with the shooting lane, but he'll wait. Still Jerriman room to shoot, but he passes it up. Jaski to Jerriman, back to Jaski. Now Jaski across the blue line, back to Jerriman. He'll play that one into Nels. Warren joins the attack. So 5-on-3 now. Puck loose in front. Holden sprawling. Roberts in the corner, unable to clear it. Still Jerriman now for the Huskies. Again, 5-on-3 for the remaining 25 seconds. Nels to Jerriman. Cinderella for the Huskies. Back out to the blue line as they'll play catch here, running out the clock, though Cinderella shoots that one, bouncing in on Holden and gloved for a stoppage with 8 seconds remaining. Vikings with the loss this evening, falling to, again, 4-6 in Pac-8 play. Next weekend the team's off for Thanksgiving, and the following weekend they'll head to Eugene to take on the Ducks. Before the weekend after that, playing Washington at home as the final buzzer sounds in this one. Final score 5-0 Huskies. So Western finishes the weekend 1-1 after the 2-1 victory last night with a pair of goals in the third period. And a 5-0 defeat tonight at the hands of the Huskies, their rivals to the south. These two teams, of course, geographically each other's closest rivals in the Pac-8 as the teams shake it up now at center ice. Again, Western falling to 4-6 on the day as the Huskies move to 4-7. Final score 5-0 in this one. Western back in action November 30th in Eugene when they take on the University of Oregon Ducks at 7 p.m. As always, I'm Walker Sakon for the Western Washington University Vikings Hockey Club. I want to thank you for tuning into this YouTube broadcast. Vikings will be back home the first weekend in February. That's February 1st and 2nd when they take on Eastern Washington University here in Bellingham. Again, February 1st, 7:45 p.m., the Vikings' next home game, as they'll spend the next portions of the next few months on the road, taking on University of Oregon in 2 weeks, November 30th at 7 p.m. as the team salutes their fans and heads off. Final 5-0 Washington.